Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we are going to talk about yet another billionaire, with a big old Beesky and Hutch becoming richer and richer and richer and richer. I kind of like the color effect as I say that. Apparently, where I scroll through, will have to the tune of $8.9 billion. $8.9 billion during COVID 1984 alone. And, the headline that I saw equated him to people like the Musker do, good old Elon, he's going to save us all. No, he's entering us into a DARPA driven age of transhumanism. No biggie. No biggie, right? There's that. And they put him there with Bezos, who is the guy bringing us the automation nation already and crushing small business everywhere and empowered to do whatever he wants during COVID 1984. So now you get Buffett in there. Now I'm going to mention some other names. Guys, that Buffett is associated with that I warned a film called Shade the Motion Picture. Okay? Now, a lot of you guys have seen Shade. If you haven't, it's free on this platform. It's free on Rockfin. Make your free Rockfin account. And it highlighted something I also briefly put into my film Invisible Empire, something called the Good Guys Club. They also like to call them the super rich friends. And guess what? A lot of these super rich friends got super richer during COVID 1984. Warren Buffett especially gets a little soft spot from the super rich friends with his buddy Bill Gates in the picture, another super rich friend. Michael Bloomberg, another super rich friend. George Soros, another super rich friend. And at the time, Ted Turner, Oprah Winfrey was in there. And I believe it was David Rockefeller Jr. that actually ended up representing the Rockefellers in that, because they're the good guys club and they're the super rich friends, and they were there to save us all from overpopulation. All going to save us from overpopulation, guys. Now I want you to think about that for a second. The super rich friends worried about all these things have now empowered themselves during a pandemic in ways that we can visually see. This is something I warned about now a year ago, that no matter what, the predator class would consolidate power over all of us. And they have. And they have. And it's sad to me. I talk about Oprah Winfrey and the Good Guys Club, right? And I even point out some of the propaganda going on with the interview about how they can't hug, but then you see them the next day at their house and they're so close. All that bullshit, right? But no, I've got to see Oprah Winfrey portrayed in South Park as torturing children in Illuminati adrenochrome sacrifice. And then on top of that, the other things that I have to see are things like, oh, she's got an ankle bracelet on. It's happening. I mean, come on, guys. Let's get with it. Billionaires have never, ever, in recorded human history been super benevolent towards the serfs, towards the lower class. I mean, many of them, before they were billionaires, right? They were millionaires. They were slave owners. And a lot of these people want to be slave owners again. They want to separate the classes even further. This is one of those things. It's like Michael Moore disgusts me right now, but he's the guy that put in Capitalism, a Love Story, that both parties were bought out, and that the establishment had their man in Barack Obama, And there was something called a plutocracy. A plutocracy. And you know what that is? That's the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer. And the divide keeps getting larger and larger and larger. But now we're in an era where robot police are on our streets and people are screaming, defund the police, defund the cops, get rid of them. Really? So our robot overlords can police us on behalf of an establishment that's already used technology to suppress our voices and fact check everything? You know, R.A. the Rugged Man, big fan, great album out there called All My Heroes Are Dead. We interviewed him almost a year ago now, right? And he tweeted out this thing called Sneetches Get Steeches, right? And obviously it's a play on the Dr. Seuss thing, and it's kind of funny. And I don't usually meme, but in this era, I actually took the meme after I retweeted it, and I threw it up on Facebook, and I said, is this going to get a fact check? Hashtag and other street lessons, because that was the sidebar to it. And it's like, can we even joke anymore? And when I say we, is it like, am I allowed to joke around? Because I feel like, again, there's a certain class that you say you're a comedian and it's okay to say the things Jason Burma says, right? And for instance, listen, Tim Dillon, I watch a lot of Tim Dillon. I think he's hilarious, right? I had no idea who Tim Dillon was until I did the Tinfoil Hat podcast on him, or with him. And he was talking about very knowledgeably the Franklin scandal and Alicia Owens. And I was like, wow, blown away that this guy knew it. And then I started looking at some of his work, and he's really funny. And I mean, he's taken off since then. It's probably 2.5 years ago, maybe closer to 3. Who knows? But, you know, Tim Dillon, like myself, bashes the QAnon thing, right? And you know, I do too. And it's like Tim Dillon get away with it, and I still get associated with QAnon. It's weird. It's just bizarre. And I'm glad Tim Dillon's out there, because he's also, you know, pointing out the absurdity of the far culture on both ends, right? And I think that's important, because, guys, I'll say it again. We have so much more in common with each other, whether you think you identify as a Republican, or you think you identify as a Democrat, or you think that you identify as a conservative, or you think you're the number one liberal out there. Okay, I would encourage people to please type in Naomi Wolf and Robert Kennedy Jr. and watch that hour-long interview, because it is just outstanding. If there's a thing that you could disagree with in that interview, I question whether you have critical thinking. Like, it's that good of an interview. Some of these things, you know, I watch 5-10 minutes of, I move on. Oh, yes, I've heard it all before. Their conversation was an excellent one. And it was one of many, many important revelations and connections and financial incentives that the public is not aware of. And a great stepping stone into you actually, yes, doing your own research, even if the New York Times and other major media outlets don't want you to. Think how insane that is. That's literally insanity 101. Let us think for you. Let the billionaires get richer. Do what we say. Stay locked down. Don't speak out. Don't question authority. We know what's best for you, not only on the internet, but medically as well. We are your leaders. We are the Good Guys Club. We are Warren Buffett and the gang. The Good Guys Club, the super rich friends. So guys, if you like this video, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Obviously, this one's a YouTube exclusive, since we're streaming from my backyard in lovely Iowa. Love it here. Great place. But I'm going to be doing some more videos, hopefully, kicking them out both here and Rockfin, with a little bit of Rockfin. Make your Rockfin account. If you haven't made a Rockfin account, that's what you do after you watch the video. You go there, you make the free Rockfin account, and then you watch all the videos you've missed, and the videos where I can talk a little more. Like we're going to get into on a Rockfin exclusive just in a little while, the CDC talking about 78% of the people dying of COVID 1984 being overweight or obese. Okay. I don't think that interview, by the way, is on YouTube, JP. You're right. You gotta do a little search key and Hutch. You might even have to go to DuckDuckGo. But guys, you know how to support me, and the best way to support me right now is to spread the Rockfin links, get people involved. If you want to be a premium subscriber there, it's like a Netflix for creators. You get more than Jason Burmis for $9.99 a month. I would encourage you to do that. I love this platform. It again is helping me not only survive during all this time when, financially I've taken a huge hit in every other direction, right? But thrive during COVID 1984 and really close to its 1-year anniversary here in the United States of America with a K, guys. I love you. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. And I'll see you on the flip side.